Hi everyone, good afternoon. Well, whilst I'm recording it is the afternoon, but it could be the morning, it could be the night, and it could be the evening. So I'd just like to say hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the love, the support, for sharing, for commenting, for subscribing, for even your feedback. I really have appreciated it. I will apologise though, over the past couple of months, a lot has happened. I'm trying to launch my mental health, Your Mental Health Matters, so that it can reach places where I never thought it would be able to reach. So I haven't been very active on this platform, but I'm going to start doing a lot more videos, a lot more recordings, so that I can stay active. Today I've decided to come and do this video, and I hope you really are encouraged by it. I woke up this morning to hear the news of a very prominent pastor who had committed suicide. This week is Suicide Awareness Week, and it shouldn't just be a week. It should be Suicide Awareness Year, months, days. It shouldn't just be limited. But today I thought, what better way to start off than to do a video on suicide. I'm going to be sharing my journey with suicide, the battles that I have, some techniques that help me. May I just add, what might work for me may not always work for you, but find whatever works for you. That's the best thing to do. And I'm also going to be reading a poem that I wrote when I was going through one of my hard times, one of my low points, and I hope you're blessed by it. So this poem was written on the 15th of June. A lot had happened that week, and I don't tend to talk as much as people think, yeah, you should talk. I tend to tell people after I've come out of that way of thinking, because sometimes for people who battles with any form of issue, it's a lot easier to try and find your own coping mechanism rather than being around everyone else and hearing what their coping mechanisms are. So my coping mechanism is writing, and I don't write until I get to that place where I know I need to start expressing myself. And writing is one of my biggest ways that has helped me a lot. So I'm going to share this poem with you, and then I'm going to go into the video. Well, we are already in the video, so I hope you like it. The poem is called Keep Your Head Up. I'm thinking too fast, too far to speak. I can't even breathe, I can't even sleep. The lower I go, the easier it is to see that heaven's a place that I'd rather be. I'm trying to drown the thoughts in my head. It's racing so fast, thoughts like, should I be dead? Some questions that keep on plaguing my mind. How or when will it be my time? Come here and talk. It's so easy for anyone to say, but will your response make it all go away? I'm trying so hard just to stay afloat. I feel like I've been kicked off this mental boat. My head's held high. I know that there is a light. I need to wake up once again. I know I need to fight. I've kept my head high, but I'm only just trying to stop these negative thoughts that keep on coming. I don't feel like me. It's like I've slowly gone back, or I've hit a standstill, worse, fallen off track. Keep my head high is what I'm doing, because I know I need a break. I feel like I'm losing. Some will see this and feel really sorry, but my head is kept high, so please don't worry. I know it's one blip that will end soon, so I chose to write it all down this afternoon. I want to encourage you to keep your head high, even if your body's tired. That's what I've done. I've tested and I've tried. So it's funny because reading this really brings the emotions back to how I felt when I wrote this. And I remember after I wrote it, I told my husband, who is happily, faithfully behind the camera, I told him and I sent it to him and maybe one other person, and I said, look, this is how I'm feeling. And it feels like those raw emotions of when you're battling with, should I still be alive? And it doesn't have to be something major that's happened. It's a thought that sometimes plagues anybody's mind. And speaking to the wrong person, that's why sometimes I choose not to speak. I just like to go through, write, and find, like I said, find my coping mechanism. But speaking to the wrong person can really, really depress you. Sometimes not speaking out is painful, but then speaking out and getting the wrong kind of response is worse. I want to pause for a second just to say to somebody, if someone comes to you and tells you that they're feeling this type of way, or they're feeling suicidal, they're feeling really low, please, your response should not be, don't worry about it, you'll feel better tomorrow. Because tomorrow could come and that person might not feel better. This morning, like I said at the beginning, I woke up to the news that Pastor Jared Wilson in America, he'd commit suicide on Monday. Then I woke up to some very ignorant comments as I was going to write my condolence messages. And it really just took me aback to see how ignorant and sometimes blindly naive people have become. And I'm going to be speaking from a Christian perspective because I'm a Christian and I'm a firm believer in prayer. I'm a firm believer. I have a very strong faith in God, that God is the only one who's brought me through. And for somebody watching this, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, do you know what? Go to church, start believing in Christ. Of course, that helped me a lot on my journey. I would say my faith in God is what's helped me so much. But what is your faith in? Whatever helps you to get through, then so long as it's not alcohol, drugs, or anything illegal, that kind of makes the situation worse. But whatever helps you, find that and make that be your truth for you wanting to continue. But this morning I saw some very ignorant comments from people of Christian faith. And some of these comments included, oh, he's a pastor. If he can be killing himself, then what hope is there for us? I would just like to say, those comments, it reduced me to tears this morning, because it's a bit like, unless you've gone there and you've been through that, gone to that hit rock bottom place and you've been there and you've gone through, you don't know what the individual's feeling. You don't know how scary it is. And I can speak from my own experiences. I've got a lot of people who I know love and care about me. But in those moments, and in the moments that I wanted to take my own life, I wasn't thinking about them. All I could think about is, I know I'm being a burden to somebody, and I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to lumber somebody with how I feel. I don't want somebody to feel like, oh, here goes Monique, just with her, with her nonsense. Which sometimes, without us even saying it, sometimes that's how people feel when we're telling you this is how we feel. It's like, oh, here you go again. And that feeling that people just think I'm overreacting, or the feeling of no one understands, or the whole feeling of I'm expressing how I feel. Sorry, I speak with my hands and my tablet was being restrictive. But sometimes, like, going back to my point, expressing how we feel like, have you even heard what I've said? Do you even know that this is how I feel? And that can be really, really painful and really hurtful for some people. But this morning when I read through some of the comments, like, oh, he should have been praying, he should have been doing this, he should have been doing that, he should have been doing that. The only persons who can speak on being suicidal, what happens when you get to that point, when you think, let go the split-second decision. Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I top myself? Should I jump? Should I take the extra couple of pills? Should I stay under the water? Those split-second decisions that a person makes is really, no one can answer that but the person who's gone through it themselves, because it's really an individualistic decision. You're not thinking about who is there, who you've left behind. All you're thinking is, this world's going to be much better without me. I've seen a lot of people now come and say, oh, we need to get rid of this mental health spirit. We need to get rid of it. I would just like to say, and I'm going to base this to some Christians, those Christians who feel like, that X, Y, Z, they just feel like it's a very good spirit. I'm a firm believer that sickness is not of God, and it's not God's will that any of the people that he makes, including you and I watching this, whether you believe in God or not, it's not his will that anybody should be sick. But just like any other sickness, if you so happen to have cancer, and I'm going to use cancer because it's something that sometimes you cannot physically see it, but you can see the outward manifestations of a cancer patient. If a loved one came to you and said, I've got cancer, and your response is sit down, just pray. Don't go to the doctor. Don't seek medical attention. Don't go to professionals who are there to help you. I'm not saying there's a loads of treatments, like cancer treatment, sometimes it doesn't work. But primarily, you're going to seek by any means necessary. You're going to seek help from anywhere. You're not going to tell that person to just sit there and pray. You're going to tell them to, do you know what? Let's go and find help. Let's get to the best of the best. When are we going to start treating mental health, suicide, like how we treat our physical health? If I go and I cut my arm, or I've broken my arm, I'm not going to sit here, and it doesn't matter how much I pray, I'm not going to sit here and pray, God, heal my arm, whilst I sit there with no knowledge, no wisdom, no understanding of how I'm going to get it healed, how I need to go to the hospital. This hospital then needs to take over. They need to do things that aren't in my constraint. And that's the same thing as mental health. That's the same exact things. You can't do things out of your own physical constraint sometimes. You need to go a step further. You need to go a step, ahead. You need to go and seek the help. I can tell you, there's nothing wrong with seeking help. There's nothing wrong with going to your GP, with going to your loved ones and telling them that this is how I feel. This is how low I've gotten. There's nothing wrong with that. There's greater strength in doing that than suffering in silence. And I know sometimes we can sit here and we can say, oh, do you know what? This person, your issues aren't as much as mine. You don't know what I go through and I can still come out. Sometimes I've been guilty of that. But everyone's story is different. And we need to start dealing with suicide, mental health, all forms of mental health illnesses. We need to start dealing with them, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of tolerance. How far have you gone to reach out to somebody who may have disclosed in the past that they've suffered? The person may have said to you, do you know what? I felt like this a couple of years ago. It's not something that instantly just goes away. It's something that we need to make sure we're checking on everyone who we care about. We're checking on our loved ones. We're not even just checking on loved ones. When was the last time you possibly saw somebody on the street looking down and out? And I know sometimes it's that thing of, I just want to mind my own business. But you don't know how far your words could go. And I'm not even just saying you, but I'm also saying me. Because when was the last time that I made sure I saw somebody looking a bit down, and I offered, even if you don't look like that, because some people, like myself, are very good at wearing this mask. And this mask isn't just the front that I choose to put on, but it's something that I know sometimes I don't want everyone to ask me how I am. But then there are some people who undoubtedly, when they speak to me, Monique, are you alright? Is it going good? And I really want to thank those people. But I really want to just encourage us. We need to start being a lot more sensitive. Maybe because you don't know anyone who personally might be dealing with mental health issues. You don't know anyone who's personally dealing with battling suicide, because it's a constant battle. I mean, I always like to think to myself, it's a very scary thought, you sitting in a room. Imagine me being here, and then I have thousands of other voices, like real people, real time, shouting, screaming, different things. That's a very confusing place to be. But imagine now for people who hear that internally, daily, kill yourself, get rid of yourself. The world's going to be better off without you. Imagine internalizing that. You're walking down the street and that is constantly what you hear. Here, the song in the background is from Shanta, Atkins, and I love this song because when I was going through my challenges a year ago, and I remember listening to this song, and I remember walking out of my house hearing the song like, this is going to be the last time I'll probably walk, because things just get too much. And I remember hearing this song, and sometimes it even brings me back to that place. I remember hearing the song and I'm just like, finally somebody can write down exactly what I feel, exactly how I'm feeling. But I just want to encourage everyone on here today. 3 things. Go the extra mile for somebody. If you know that there's somebody dealing with any form of mental illness, depression, suicide, hearing voices, anything like that, go the extra mile. Find out how they are. you know, if they can't come out, offer yourself to go to them and do it with all genuineness in your heart. Second of all, stop being judgmental, because it could be me today and it could be you tomorrow. And I'm sure if it was your turn, you wouldn't want somebody to be judging you. You wouldn't want somebody to be giving you bad advice, such as just sit here and pray or it will get better, or just snap out of it. I'm sure if it was you, you wouldn't want that. And third of all, if it is you watching this and you're getting, you know, and it's you who's dealing with the suicidal thoughts and it's you dealing with the battles of depression, get help. I always tell everyone, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm an advocate for great mental health. And I wish above all things, and that was something I prayed deeply for this morning, I want everyone to be in great mental health. And I want not even just be in great mental health, but I want each and every one of us to do our bit to make sure those who are suffering with mental health, they don't do it in silence anymore. It's time for us to speak. It's time for us to do what's out of the norm. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you've been blessed by it, and I hope you've been encouraged by it. I'm always here to speak. I'm always here to offer my advice through my own personal experiences and my professional experiences. You can email me at monique@mymentalhealth.org.uk. My information will be in the description box down here below. You can also send me a message on YouTube. I'm more than happy to help any way which I can. You can follow my Instagram page, My Mental Health, Your Mental Health, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Also, I have an event on the 26th of October. More information on that will come. You can register for that on Eventbrite, but I'll have a whole nice, lovely promo video that will be done by DKASAREMEDIA for you all to come listen, share, and hear other experiences as well. But thank you and have a great day. And if you are battling today, I hope this day you just remember you are the reason that somebody else has to live. If you're going through it, yes or no. When people used to say to me, Monique, you're going through this because you're going to encourage someone else, I used to always think it was a lie. But now I know the reason why I'm still standing here is so I can encourage you today. You're worthy, you're worth it, you're worthy, and you're loved. And I love you. Even if I don't know you, I still love you. Have a good day, guys, and thank you for watching.